Hi, this is Attila, and you're listening to Movie Prosecutioners. Let's go. Okay, Today's episode is about Deadpool. Yeah, but not about the Deadpool and Wolverine movie that we get into the cinema right now, but about the whole Deadpool kind of thing, and a little bit also about the Marvel Cinematic Universe and why it kind of sucks. So, yeah, and I will make this a case about irony. So, why do I want to talk about irony when I'm talking about Deadpool? Um, in a form, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the Marvel kind of ironic way of referring to themselves, maybe even cynic, um, made them kind of interesting and made them having like a way around them that was kind of different. They took themselves serious, but often characters referred to themselves or referred to themselves as a figure, as a like character in a movie, and that's a very different thing from what we experienced before in movies. And so I was very interested in actually like experiencing them. Like when I started to watch the Marvel Cinematic movies the first time, I was really like enjoying them. I was like, oh, this is kind of fun. They kind of make fun of themselves, and they're like, I don't know, still it's engaging and interesting. But they kind of use irony too much. And at some point, and I will try to explain this in this podcast, irony is taking away commitments. And it's taking away a certain way of movies, what they're supposed to be capable of doing. And I will try to explain that in this episode. But before that, I want to make sure that we understand what I mean by irony. Because irony is in movies, there are different forms of irony, and I want to just be really clear about which one I'm talking. So the first one I want to differentiate from the general irony is the situational irony. Situational irony is, for example, when Alex in Clockwork Orange, who is a sociopath who enjoys committing ultra violence, yet when subjecting to the government's conditional conditioning program, not conditional conditioning program, just conditioning program, to remove his violent tendencies, he kind of loses his free will and becomes a victim of society. And this is kind of illustrating the irony of using immoral methods to achieve moral outcomes. So this sounded very much read from a paper, and it's exactly that. But here I just wanted to show you like the in the movie Clockwork Orange from Stanley Kubrick, there is irony in kind of the story. So you don't have characters using irony to explain themselves or to make fun of somebody, but it's like a form of sadistic irony about like, okay, we want actually that people are behaving in a better way, and we do this by conditioning, by manipulating them into it. And this is showing the irony of what will actually happen if we do that. And what happens is that this person is like kind of treated like shit. And yeah, that is kind of the moral of the story of Clockwork Orange. And I'm sorry for spoiling that, but I will now spoil another movie where I will kind of make you understand a different form of irony. This movie is 10 Things I Hate About You. So it's a movie from 1999, and it's one of these high school drama movies. And there's a character played by Heath Ledger. I think he's called Patrick, and his character is paid to take out another character played by Julia Stiles. I do not remember her name, but in general, the character of Julia Stiles does not know that actually the guy is paid to take her out. He's paid to show affection. And there's the irony that we as an audience, we understand, oh crazy, this is going to be like a major issue in the future between them. This is gonna make it there will be a conflict about that. And so we have a certain there's tension rising because of that. And this is kind of it's called, if I remember correctly, it's called dramatic irony, and it's like kind of a plot device. So these kind of two forms of irony, where the storytelling is kind of irony and the moral behind this shows us the irony, or if it's like the plot device of kind of making a character not know the real situation, but us as an audience, we do know the real situation. So these are different forms of ironies, and the form I want to talk is actually when characters in movie are using irony. And this kind of irony is one that is Ryan Reynolds using like since I don't know how many movies. And he's kind of making fun of movies himself, or about the situation his characters are in. And you have more the feeling of watching Ryan Reynolds instead of, for example, Deadpool. Or to make it even more meta, it's like, you don't look at Guy in the movie that he was recently in from 2021. He just is called Guy in this movie. And you're not watching him like the character Guy in the movie. Ironically, the movie's name is New Guy. But you're not watching like this character as protagonist, but you're kind of watching Ryan Reynolds doing his kind of style with what he, I don't know, maybe enjoys or feels like he should do. And this is kind of, I don't know, easy. I do not know if it's actually easy to play this character and to play it again and again, but it's kind of feels like not progressing, and progress will be a big topic in the upcoming part of this podcast. So I want to use words that I haven't written myself, like last episode. But this episode, it will be not like a poem. I will just quote a really short part of Martin Scorsese's critique on Marvel movies and the way of how he describes cinema. He says that Marvel is not cinema because cinema is about revelation, aesthetic, emotional, and spiritual revelation. And what I take out of this, to form it in like my stupid normal words, is that movies are there to make you understand something. They're there to kind of progressing something inside of you and go further with what you think about, I don't know, your aesthetics, your emotions, or in general with yourself, what you think about yourself. And that's what I think how these words are meant. And here we come back to irony, because what Marvel movies are doing and what Deadpool is doing, like to the form of excess that Deadpool is capable of, is to reducing the way of how we committing to the story. So to make it plain and simple, I have an antagonist, and this antagonist says like, hey, I want to control the world because the world is like fucked, it's rigged, nobody is giving fair chances, and I create fair chances for everybody. Um, like for example, I'm a communist. Like I will make fair chances for everybody. And then the protagonist says, "Oh, yeah, that worked really well the last three episodes ago, where the same guy had the same motivation, and but he destroyed half of the world. Really great idea." So this is more sarcasm, I guess. But in a way, what you take away here is like, okay, somebody tried it already. Okay, this is not like the greatest motivation. We had this before. We can make it more simple. Uh, like the antagonist says, I destroy half of the world because we don't have enough resources for all the people who are living. And then he said, yeah, I remember Thanos did that before in this kind of low budget movie that I saw 5 years ago. So, and you kind of take away this illusion of being in a movie. You kind of take away that there's like an environment where you take the motivation seriously, because already somebody tried it. Okay, it was a movie, and yeah, it's to use the irony in this way is making it kind of simple, and not only for the writer, because the writer does not have to kind of write a better way of thinking for the antagonist, but also for like the people who watch, because the people who watch are like, okay, yeah, it's not that bad, like kind of we got rid of that, and there's like less of an emotional commitment if you do know that this is just an illusion. And as soon as you take away this illusion, you take away the possibility of change, of taking seriously, of doing things differently. And this is irony. And now, don't get me wrong. First of all is that I don't say that you always have to do commitments and that you always have to kind of take things seriously. There's a good reason. I think there's a good reason for irony to exist, and I think it's good to have it and to use it to enjoy life and to not being too bad with people or not confronting too much. Sometimes it's good to have irony, but if this becomes like kind of a rhythm, a way of living, a way of creating, a way of always engaging with other people, or a way of always watching movies, then it feels like you're always gonna like eat a Burger King menu. And I wouldn't say I never ate a Burger King menu, but I would say this is not the best food that you can have on the table. And even if there's like a nice heater written on it and says like still better than McDonald's, I mean, like, I would kind of like smirk, but it's not like I'm eating good meat or good fries. Like it's not healthy. It's not, I'm eating what I already know and what I maybe enjoy. I wouldn't say I'm enjoying that a lot. It's a really bad analogy, but I think you get the gist of it. The thing I want to say here, it's like there's so much where I can learn from. Like, if we go back to food, like there's so much food I never tried and so much I could enjoy, but I don't do it. I take my kind of safe bet, and but I would know. I'm pretty sure a lot of the food that is out there I could enjoy, and enjoy a lot more than this kind of safe burger I ate my whole life. So yeah, this is like kind of what I think we should get out of this. And even for Martin Scorsese, it's like every movie has to be a form of I'm going further and I'm learning something out of this. And I think this is not where I want to live. I don't want that everything that is created has to have a meaning and has to make me learn something. But I think it's like a good point to say there should be some stuff where I'm learning something from. There should be some way of commitment, and sometimes I shouldn't use irony because sometimes I should take things seriously. And yeah, this is my episode for Deadpool. I know maybe this is a little bit of an irony. I just, I actually like the Deadpool movies, and also the Deadpool movies try to be a little bit seriously sometimes. But I really wanted to talk about irony because I don't know. I use irony a lot in my life and I enjoyed it, but at some point I was like I have to take a few things seriously so that I'm more happy with myself and I'm better to others. And I took in I actually did some commitments in my life, and I think that was a good decision. And that's kind of why I wanted to make this episode. So, whoop whoop, go commitments! And I hope you enjoyed this episode. You stay tuned, and we see each other next week. Bye.